Alright, so don't know how long this is going to go for, and I apologize if you guys can't hear every word that I'm saying because of how my voice sounds. Still under the weather with allergies. But this video will be scripted. I got some points I actually wanted to go through with you guys in this video, and I'm kind of curious to see how the lighting works with this camera. So, all a project. The LJ effect, baby. Booyah! Alright. Being a lone wolf. What is it? How do you know if you're one? And what separates them from normal people? Okay? So the first point is you avoid groupthink, right? So you think for yourself. Okay, a lot of lone wolves out there, they aren't around a lot of people, and they spend a lot of time alone too. So they tend to think for themselves. They're able to be themselves, and they're able to be themselves around other people even when other people don't agree with them, or they do agree with them and they think like-mindedly. And who knows, it could be even a smaller group of people set into a larger group of people that think the complete opposite of this small group of people. I mean, it's that simple just from breaking it down. So you guys share a common idea that society doesn't share with you. You don't accept things for how they are, and you want to improve. So you want to improve yourself, and you don't want to be mediocre. Okay, that's the other thing, is that you want to be set apart. You know, one of the things I learned about growing up, just a basic teaching from the Bible, you are set apart when you're a believer, right? So if you believe in your own ideals, and you have this idea, this creative idea that's going to take you somewhere in the future, and it's maybe a business idea or a way of thinking, because a lot of the ways that people think nowadays, it's destructive. And what it's doing is our society thrives so much on short-term highs that they're willing to sacrifice long-term investments, long-term health and wellness, and a long-term vocation, right? Their career or something that they want to do long-term for just instant gratification. And that's what we live in nowadays, is an instant gratification society. So it ties into thriving on the short-term high. And the same thing can be said about going out to bars and drinking or drugs. Plain and simple. You want to shape your own personal destiny despite what the world thinks. And I kind of made my point there already, but I guess I could elaborate a little bit more on that. You have something to give to the world. You have something to give. You give your gift. That was one of the things I learned a couple years ago, was as a man you learn to give your gift. And that's a part of masculinity too, and a part of the masculine. You give your gift back out into the world. The question is, what is your gift that you're going to give back to the world? How does it provide value for people? How will it improve the world in the future, into future generations of young men or men? Right? And I mean, it can improve for women too. Men and women. Both. It doesn't just have to be a specific gender. Alright, so the next point. You learn self-reliance. You pave your own way. You find a way to escape the 9-to-5. You learn how to abide by the rules and situations that continually change so you can adapt to them. Alright? So, paving your own way, you are setting out on a course where you want to do everything on your own, right? You want to, say, build your business, right? You want to code. You tend to have to spend a lot of time alone, and this can categorize you as a lone wolf, right? Because you're making your way in the world. You eventually want to get out of the 9-to-5. Well, honestly, hands down, you got to figure that out. You got to be able to figure out how you're going to break out of the 9-to-5. You're not going to do the same job that you've been doing for like the last 5 or 6 years, and you're spending a lot of time either after work or on the weekends, where you're looking for solutions online, or you're writing a book or something like that. I mean, it can start from just a simple idea, and that's what's going to eventually get you out of the 9 to 5. You're planning your escape when you're not at your 9 to 5, okay? And you use that time either on the weekends or whatever time you have after work to work on those things and to work on those personal goals. It may sound a little vague, but that's really the basic way that I can explain it. And so, again, I like reading that off again, but you learn how to abide by the rules in situations that continually change so you can adapt to them. Okay, so in a way you're going to eventually build a different environment for yourself, but you're going to adapt to the one that you're currently in and the situations that you come into and the rules that you have to deal with until you can create the life that you want to create. And sometimes that's going to make you, that's what a lone wolf will do with that time that they have. So there's that. Going on to the next point. Strength through sacrifice. You may have to sacrifice your social life for the greater good. Now, I kind of did this when I was a little bit younger. And this is probably a perfect example. You guys could probably, some of you could probably relate to me on this. Hang on a second. When I don't have an appetite, I tend to drink a lot of tea. Still drinking the same tea from one of the last videos that you guys watched. And I put it down. It curves the sensation for eating, but I love drinking a good detox tea, a good herbal tea that's going to help me get over whatever I'm dealing with. Back to the next point. So my example. When I was younger, I didn't go out a lot. I was actually afraid of people. I had some social anxiety, and it took me a long time to get over it. And so one of the things that I did was I was continually to learn and kind of educate myself on things that I really enjoyed. And I'm hoping to do some videos on this in the future, and I've already talked a little bit about it in some random videos that I've done. I wasn't trying to make them random. It's just kind of the ideas that I have, and then I just go with it, you guys. But I studied a lot of herbs and holistic healing, natural healing, things like that. I know that there's a lot of different ways of how people are healing their bodies nowadays, especially with my big paradigm shift with the carnivore diet. But I was trying to learn and research herbs so that way I could use it not only for my own health, but I wanted to see if I could help out some of my family members' health, some of my friends' health, people that were near and dear to me. And so I spent a lot of time watching videos, reading a lot of books, and just trying to memorize like how I could naturally treat myself with medicinal herbs. And a lot of that time was spent on the weekends and days when I got off work. I was listening to lectures and all the time, and just reading up on what books they were referencing in those lectures. And so I was kind of an outcast because I was in my earlier 20s, and I wasn't going out to the bars a lot. I wasn't going out and doing the things that I needed to be doing as a young man, and going out trying to hit on girls and get laid all the time, things like that. So I spent a lot of my time alone and by myself looking into these things, because I knew that long term this knowledge and wisdom that I was going to have was eventually going to help people that had no other way out. Their next checkout line was death, and so eventually they, I could kind of see myself becoming an alternative doctor in the future, and it was just this dream that I had, and I wanted to kind of pursue it. But I feel like my life is maybe taking a different turn of events now, just because of all the different ways that I'm learning about how you can heal the body now. It's amazing. People are figuring out how to fix autoimmune disorders with these different kinds of diets, or with the main one that I had experimented with called the carnivore diet. So look, I was sacrificing my short-term highs and short-term pleasures for the greater good, in this aspect of I wanted to sacrifice my social life, and I did. We live in a society that thrives off of short-term highs, like I just said. And we are living in an instant gratification society. It's rampant. I mean, we can see it out there every day in and day out, every Friday night, Saturday night, over the weekends. You can just see what people are doing, or whatever their weekends include. Sometimes people just have a different kind of a weekend. They don't work Sundays or Mondays, so then they just go ahead and party Sunday and Monday, and then they go back to work Tuesday through Saturday. So you got these different situations, you got these different people. It's obviously a problem because so many people are just willing to sacrifice all that time to just go out and have these short-term pleasures at their disposal whenever they want it, you know. And I mean, we got mediocrity expanding like crazy because people are just better off thinking that this is the way things are going to be and this is how my life is going to turn out. No, it's not. Your life does not have to turn out like everybody else, not like the masses. You can choose to be the 1%, to stand outside from the crowd, to stand outside from the masses and make a difference. Be the difference. It's this sacrifice that builds strength. So then once you have that strength, you create a shield around you where nothing can hurt you. You are impenetrable as a person, as a being. And you realize, all right, I'm going to make a difference in this world despite what people say. And maybe I need to spend some time alone. Hence, being a lone wolf. We choose this path because we don't like the current state of society. We want to think and to act and to behave as we want to do so freely and creatively as people. And that's what being a lone wolf is also about too. We have these different ideals in a different way of how we see society and how things can play out versus what people are presenting to the table and what people are deciding to do instead of taking a higher path or maybe the path of the ultimate. You know, I've talked about this in a few different videos too as well. But it's kind of funny how the same message kind of bears repeating because I just don't think a lot of people are still getting it, and I just don't think we maybe have enough people speaking about this. But hey, from me to you, that's why I'm recording this video. And, you know, I really liked this last, you know, this point. I'm just going to read it again. We choose this path because we don't like the current state of society. We want to think and to act and to behave as we want to do so freely and creatively. And we want to be able to do that in our lives. We want to be able to expand and grow. And sometimes it can be a job or a group of people in your life or a family situation. It just depends on the situation that could be holding you back from expanding and growing and creating and giving that gift to the world that you want to share, but you also want to make it your new job. It's your thing that you can do for people, and I mean you can make money off of it, right? You're providing value to the world, and so that's another way, another aspect that you can provide value is by helping people. You're solving a problem. That's how you provide value. You're solving a problem and you're helping people, and this is how it can change around for you. But I think this is what being a lone wolf is, or what lone wolves do. So you want to use the time to learn to be by yourself as a lone wolf. There are so many people, you know, that I know that can't be by themselves or can't stand being alone. I kind of think that that's a problem. I used to be one of those people too. It's funny, I went from extrovert to introvert to extrovert again, but I don't really consider myself an ambivert. You know, and I don't really like to put myself in a title, but, you know, I like my time alone. I like to do this on my own. And I like to just kind of get away from people and just kind of sit back and think and then get in front of a camera, record myself, and just kind of put myself out there, speak and talk and give out my ideas and then put it out into the world. But then I also like to go and interact with people and be around groups of people, laugh and sing and have a good time, dance, cha-cha, you know, work out with the guys or girls and train and get strong and have those social dynamics. And I think those things are important in life. We all need to have those, you know. A lot of people say they need that balance in life, and it's like, yeah, I see the balance, but I just want to make sure that I'm not wasting my time, that I'm being productive in a way that I know it's going to provide value, not only for me, but for people in the future. And so I feel like me doing this is going to help me become better, and it's helping me to provide value in the future for people in the world, and also helping me create my set of skills, my skills that I can give out into the world and turn it into my gift that I want to give to the world. You have to enjoy your time alone. You learn to be yourself, and that people will like you for you. And so with that, you learn how to be yourself. You obviously have to focus on a lot of self-love. You have to realize that you can't hate yourself and try and accomplish what you want to accomplish out in this life. You know, you have to learn how to love yourself. And sometimes being a lone wolf teaches you how to be by yourself long enough to know that, hey, you know what, I really enjoy myself, and I want to be around people that enjoy me. Because if you're hanging around people that also don't, enjoy you, then you got to meet another new group of people. It's just that. Even if you really want to try and be their friends, or if you really want to try and interact with that group of people, it's just not going to fly, because you and that group of people are completely different personas, I want to say, and you have too many different views where you're just not going to sync up. So you have to find people that you can interact with and share the same commonalities with each other, and that's what's going to help you grow. You going towards that specific goal that you have laid out with like-minded people, and you'll eventually find them. You just gotta search. You gotta search it out. Stay curious, and not really question, but be curious and just continue to look. Seek and you shall find. Knock and the door shall be open to you, as the good book says, right? And so you keep looking for that, you'll find it, you guys. I mean, that was just some principles I was raised off of, because I grew up as a Christian, like I told you, even though I don't go to the church anymore. I left the church a long time ago, but those fundamental principles still stuck with me, and so I still use them because it's a part of my beliefs. So you gotta find people that will like you for you. It's basically my point. But you gotta learn to be yourself. I tried being somebody that I wasn't for a long time. I remember this too, growing up and just being young. And I was at a point too for a couple of years where I was still finding myself. I mean, what kid isn't, who or what kid isn't doing that when you're that young? Typically it's in high school, but I realized that I wasn't being myself, and it sucked kind of just living as this kind of a fake person. And so I just wanted to say, like, you definitely got to learn how to be yourself, regardless if people don't like you for you. And I think back to one of the things that Arnold said, you're not going to be liked by everybody, okay? Successful people aren't liked by everybody. And you got to deal with the naysayers. But, you just ignore the naysayers and you continue on the path, and you still have that vision. And you stay focused on it and chase after it. He said those things. And those are important to keep in mind, especially on your bad days, the darkest times in your life, maybe even your lowest points in life, your lowest of lows. Because that's what's going to get you through, especially when you're alone. Again, it's being the lone wolf. Being a lone wolf and being in that situation where you have nobody else around because people gave up on you, but you still have your dream and you have that fire, that spark inside of you that's going to keep you going. And you have to realize that, yeah, maybe you don't have a lot of people that are around you to support you, but you got enough skills and you got enough wits about you that you can create and manifest something in the future. It's going to take some time and you're going to be alone for a little bit, but long term, you're going to have a lot of people around you, you're going to have a lot of people admiring you, and then you'll create value and bring that gift into the world. So that's it for the video, guys, but being a lone wolf, these are the things that lone wolves deal with. But yeah. All right. Have a good night, guys. I'll talk to you later.